Hey guys, and we're back with another video of songs I know and love, just never seen the videos for. This one is an older one. It's Rasputin, a little story of Grigory Rasputin. Um, Interesting character. We'll talk about that afterwards, but yeah, apparently it's kind of like you think from the 60s and 70s where they're just kind of on stage. Nothing really going along with it as far as I know. Just singing, dancing, but it's a good song, and it's been. I mean, it was in freaking Doctor Who when the Master was disguising himself as Rasputin. So, I mean, most odd scene in Doctor Who in recent memory, but it works because it's the Master. But, yeah. So okay, so I love the dancing. I always love the beat of the song. Considering who Rasputin was, it's a very upbeat song. The guy was just crazy. I mean, he was able to do some crazy stuff and manipulate a lot of people. Um, but the ability he had to fool so many people, including the Tsar and his wife, the Serena, going in and healing their son, who apparently, it was insane. And then he became a trusted advisor of the Tsar, and it's just one thing after another. Now, some things, well, we'll get to that at the end, but just a song about Rasputin, who's just this huge figure, very upbeat.
drinking, lusting, and his hunger for power became known to more and The demands to do something about this outrageous man became louder and louder.
So Rasputin shows up and to the Tsar, Nicholas Romanov II, and they have a son. Him and his wife have a son, Alexei, who has hemophilia, which is like thin blood. Like his blood can't clot. So if like he gets a small cut, it bleeds, and there's nothing to, if we get a cut, it stops. Our blood clots and it stops it from bleeding. He didn't have that. It just kept bleeding because of what he had. So Rasputin shows up and heals their son. If I remember, he told them to just stop giving the kid aspirin, because apparently aspirin was really big back then, and the doctors were giving him aspirin, which also thins your blood. So this kid can't form blood clots to stop bleeding, and they're giving him aspirin, which is thinning his blood even more. But after he showed up and he did his thing, and he got a little better, and then Rasputin had to leave. And while he was away, the Serena wrote him a letter saying that our son is, he's really, really sick and he's going to die. And he wrote a letter back just saying, hey, tell the doctor, stop giving him aspirin. And sure enough, they stopped giving him aspirin and he got better. It doesn't matter anyway. His son, their son died. Actually, all of them died. But their son was 13 when he died. Way too young. And they all, well, we're going to get to that at the end, just to kind of wrap things up. But yeah, the whole, and also the lover of the Russian queen. Yeah, the guy can pretty much hypnotize any woman. And while the Tsar was away, people reported seeing the Serena and Rasputin, or at least silhouettes or whatever, in the windows, engaging. So, but yeah. Okay, so for the longest time, the story was just that. I think it was Nicholas's cousin, who was like a general commander or something like that. Him and I think it was like like two politicians or something like that. I can't remember the whole story, but they invited him over, and they served him like tea and baked goods and stuff like that. Which they laced with cyanide, which was back then, that was a great way for assassinations. But Rasputin was just nom 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 nom, chug 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 chug, and then he finishes like, "Do you have anything else?" So they gave him some wine, also laced with cyanide, and he just drank and drank and drank and ate and drank and ate, and nothing. But apparently, according to Rasputin's daughter, he doesn't like sweets. He didn't like sweets, so there's no way he would have been eating baked goods, like cookies or cakes or whatever. He didn't eat that stuff. And when after he died, after they did the autopsy, they didn't find any cyanide or any trace that any of that actually happened. Um, but what did happen more so is okay, so after that didn't happen, after the poison didn't happen, they shoot him right in the stomach. He's down. They think, okay, but then he gets up and then he chases them. And the story goes, he chases them into the woods, and then they finally fire at him, shoot him in the head, and then they throw him into a frozen, a river, like a frozen river. But then even then, his body looks like it's coming back up and still moving. Of course, fresh, warm body being thrown into basically an ice bath. What's going to happen? It's kind of like you see the videos with like frogs' legs, sprinkle some salt and they start moving around. It was just kind of like that. But basically they shot him. Essentially, that's how he actually died. It's just the bullet to the head. Everything else, the guy was crazy though. He goes into a bar, he starts a fight. He was either trying to do things with someone or he started a fight. I can't remember, but he gets stabbed in the stomach and he just like walks it off. But the dude, he started out, he didn't really have much of anything when he was a kid. I think when he was like 18 or so, he took like a pilgrimage and went to a monastery and found God. And then he kind of used it as a way to get with women because he's a huge freaking horn dog. And he would just, the word that YouTube doesn't like people to say starts with an R. He would do that to women. And, yeah, people, I think, who was it? No, it wasn't, was it daughters? I think it was either, the Tsar's, I think he had daughters that they accused Rasputin of that, or it was like a servant or someone who worked. I think it was maybe the Tsar. But I think his daughters said something that Rasputin had, or at least tried to. But in the end, it didn't matter because, they were all rounded up. The Tsar, his wife, the children, and they were all executed by firing squad. So, guess it didn't matter. Which is weird because apparently Rasputin told the Tsar that, hey, if anything ever happens to me, your empire is gonna fall. And what do you know? Rasputin dies, and a lot of them get executed. So the guy may not have been a real mystic, but he set it up as like an insurance policy. Like, oh, yeah, by the way, guy, if anything happens to me, yeah, you want to stay as ruler? Yeah, well, nothing better happened to me. But then it actually happens. But yeah, Rasputin was just a character. Going from having nothing to living in this palace with the Tsar and his family. And also, yeah, when they shot after the whole poisoning and shooting him in the stomach, after he was out, they kind of dressed up as him and went back to his apartment so that people would think that he had come home. So that way, I mean, obviously, it's a pretty good plan, I guess. So that way, when he disappeared, it'd be like, oh no, I saw Rasputin the other day. It was like middle of the night. He came home and I saw him. He was, but Rasputin, Rasputin. And I think his daughter died in 1977 or something like. She died in the 70s. But yeah, she said her father didn't like sweets. I mean, if anyone would know her father, it would be her. So if she's saying, yeah, there's no way my dad would eat any of that. You know, I kind of inclined to believe her. She'd have no reason to lie about it. Maybe she was a liar. I don't know, but you know, when someone says about their parents, oh yeah, my dad didn't eat that stuff. You know, apparently he was a lover of garlic though. Me being an Italian, I feel you, dog. I feel you. Um, but if she's coming out and saying, yeah, my dad didn't like sweets like that, um, you know, kind of inclined to believe. But I mean, it's like, what's she trying to do? Make her dad look better? No, no, he didn't like sweets. Okay, well, okay, doesn't take away from all the terrible things he did. Um, but yeah, the guy was just a womanizer. He was a ist, you know, grapist, grape, like the fruit grape. Um, he was just violent. It's violent. Um, and the fact that he used God as a way to get what he wanted, like, oh yeah, I'm a holy man, and if you want to join the ranks with me and my holy brethren, you'll suck my dick right now. You know, he was kind of doing that. Um, I don't think God would approve that, sir. How do you know? Have you talked to God? Well, I have. And he said, if you don't suck my dick right now, that you're going to hell. And the women are like, okay, well, I have no choice but to suck the guy's dick because I don't want to go to hell. So the way he was able to manipulate people, and people thought he was able to hypnotize because of how influential and how persuasive he could be. And no, he was just a good speaker. Kind of like another person in history who yeah, very good speaker. Very very good speaker, able to move the masses. Was he a good guy? Absolutely not. But when he got up there and he talked, people paid attention. Probably why he was so successful in all the terrible things he did, because of how much influence he had in people's lives, and these people's minds were just kind of warped, you know, to think that what he was doing was right. Rasputin was the same way. But yeah, great song. I love the fact that this guy has so much energy just dancing throughout the entire song. 6 minutes of him dancing. It's insane. I wish I had that kind of energy again. But nope. And why does it look like Sephiroth is standing right there? That whole time I'm looking at this, I'm like, is that freaking Sephiroth? But I think that's a chick or something. I can't even tell. I mean, it's based on right there. It looks like a chick. But I'm like, what are they doing? They don't show them doing anything. They're just ladies up. What? But yeah, Grigory Rasputin, interesting character. Gained the trust of the Tsar and his wife just by curing their son. They thought he was a mystic and ooh, he's beyond human. No, he was just well traveled and probably saw stuff like that before. But it makes good stories. You know, what sounds better? That he was well traveled and, you know, might have seen it. He also dealt with horses for a while, so he might have seen it with horses, with the blood unable to clot. But what sounds better is the story. Well traveled and had experience, or the dude was a mystic and through God and other mystic powers, he was able to, you know. So what sounds better? Obviously, people are gonna go with, oh yeah, he was a mystic and he had magic and powers beyond human comprehension. You know, they were able to shoot him and stab him and poison him and this and that, and he just kept on coming because he was, you know, not human. And it makes a good story and it makes a good song. Anyway, that is going to do it for me. Let me know anything else that you guys can think of songs. If I've seen it, then, well, if I haven't seen it, then I might just do it. But that's going to do it all. That's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.